Swayam Prabha. Digital India. Educated India.
Hi everyone, this is Mallika Pathak from Miranda House, University of Delhi, continuing with the course on gaseous state for the students of BSc Honours Chemistry and BSc with Chemistry. Module 3, Lecture 1 of the series. The academic expert of the course is Dr. Amrita T. Sheikh, and the recording is being done in the DTH Swayam Prabha project of the MHRD, New Delhi. Now before we start with today's e-lecture, let's recall what we had done in the previous e-lecture. In the previous e-class, we talked about Andrew's experiment on carbon dioxide, how his PV isotherms were obtained, what do they look like. Then we also talked about the continuity of state and the PV isotherms of the van der Waals equation. Then we took a look at how the isotherms could be used to calculate the critical parameters at the critical point. This was followed by a discussion on reduced equation of state and the law of corresponding states. So with this we had wound up the last lecture. Now continuing with the same theme on gaseous state, today we will be talking about the distribution of molecular speed, Boltzmann distribution law, law of distribution of molecular speeds, most probable speed, average speed, root mean square speed, followed by average kinetic energy. So let's start today's lecture. Distribution of molecular speeds. The molecules of an air are not traveling at the same speed, even if the air is at a single temperature. Some of the molecules are moving extremely fast, some are moving with moderate speed, and some of the air molecules are not moving at all. Because of this, we can't ask questions like what is the speed of an air molecule in a gas, since a molecule in a gas could have any one of a huge number of possible speeds. So instead of asking questions about one particular gas molecule, we have to ask questions like what is the distribution of speeds in a gas at a certain temperature. In the mid to late 1800s, James Clerk Maxwell and Ludwig Boltzmann figured out the answer to this question. Their result is often referred to as Maxwell-Boltzmann distribution because it shows how the speed of the molecules are distributed for an ideal gas. The Maxwell-Boltzmann distribution is often represented with this graph. The y-axis of the Maxwell-Boltzmann distribution can be thought of as giving the number of molecules per unit speed, NV. So if the graph is higher in a given region, it means there are more molecules moving with those speeds. This is y-axis, number of molecules versus velocity. So this is the observed speed distribution of gas molecules in a thermal equilibrium. Here NV is called as the Maxwell-Boltzmann speed distribution function. So what is the Boltzmann distribution law? The motion of the molecules is extremely chaotic. Any individual molecule is colliding with others at an enormous rate. This is typically at the rate of billion times per second. So we need to define something called as number density, and this number density is also called as a distribution function. So it is defined so that NVEDE is the number of molecules per unit volume with the energy between E and E plus dE. So what does this number density have to do with the Boltzmann distribution law? Now please understand that the Maxwell-Boltzmann distribution law has its basis in statistical mechanics. So statistical mechanics was used to define the number density, and it is given as NVE is equal to N naught e to the power minus E by kT. Where what is capital E? It is the energy. What is small k? It is the Boltzmann constant. And what is capital T is the temperature in Kelvin. And this is known as the Boltzmann distribution law. And what does it state? It states that the probability of finding a molecule in a particular energy state varies exponentially as the negative of the energy divided by kT, where I am repeating k is the Boltzmann constant and T is the temperature in Kelvin. So your number density varies exponentially with respect to E by kT negatively. So what is the law of distribution of molecular speed? So the fundamental expression which was given by Maxwell is that the distribution of speed in n gas molecules is given as dnu 4 pi n into m upon 2 pi rt to the power of 3 by 2 exponential minus mu square upon 2 rt u square du, or it can also be written as dnu equal to 4 pi n small m upon 2 pi kt to the power of 3 by 2 exponential minus mu square upon 2 kt u square du. So what does it do? So this expression actually gives you the number of molecules dnu which have the speeds between u and u plus du, and this is expressed in terms of number of molecules n, molar mass m if we are talking about that. If I am talking about single gas molecule, so it is written as small m, and according to this expression the fraction dnu upon n of molecules having speeds between u and u plus du for a gas of molar mass m will depend only on temperature. I am repeating, according to this expression, what does it imply? That the fraction dnu upon n of molecules having speeds between u and u plus du will vary with temperature only. Thus, for a given temperature, this fraction will have a constant value. And which fraction am I talking about? I am talking about dnu upon n. So what is the consequence of the distribution of speeds? So we have already said that the molecules are colliding with each other. There is a chaotic movement. Each individual molecule has a different speed and you cannot pinpoint the speed of any given molecule. So you are in fact talking about an average speed. So because you are talking about the average speed, you are also talking about a concept which is called as average kinetic energy. And we know that the kinetic theory of gases had made an assumption which said that the average kinetic energy of a gas is constant for a given temperature. So let us see how is this a consequence of the distribution of speed. Now what is average kinetic? So average kinetic energy is the average of the kinetic energy of all the molecules. Now we've said all the molecules have different speeds, so it can have any number of molecules having any number of speeds, and you will just take the average of the speeds of each of the molecules and divide by the average of the speed of the molecules, or you take the sum of the speeds of the molecules divided by n. So you have average kinetic energy which is written as 1 by 2m into u1 square plus u2 square plus u3 square 2un square divided by n. I can also rewrite this as 1 by 2n m u1 square plus u2 square plus u3 square plus un square. So if I take this as a summation, then I can write it as 1 by 2n m and just the u bar square. This can also be written as 1 by n into 1 by 2m summation I dni ui square, or it can also be written as 1 by 2m summation I dni upon n ui square. So what is it actually telling you? So it is telling you that this fraction dni upon n, which have the speeds between ui and u plus ui, is constant at a given temperature. Therefore the whole expression will have a constant value, and therefore the kinetic energy will also have a constant value. So why has it happened? I am repeating. Why has it happened? Because each of the molecules have the different speeds. So when you take the average speed, then you also talk about the average kinetic energy. So you take the kinetic energy of each of the individual molecules, sum it and divide it by n, or you take the average of the kinetic energy of the molecules. Now therefore when you rewrite it, it will be written as 1 by 2n m u1 square u1 square to un square, or it can be written as 1 by 2m u bar square. Now so this is the average kinetic energy. This can also be written as 1 by 2m, you just take the m out, and you do the summation of dni upon n into ui square. So this is this expression. Now m is a constant, I know that. dni upon n will also become constant at a given temperature because we have already determined it from the Boltzmann distribution law. So this has become a constant at a given temperature. Therefore, the whole right hand side will have a constant value, and therefore the average kinetic energy has a constant value at a given temperature. And thus it proves one of the major assumptions of the kinetic theory of gases. Let's look at the Maxwell-Boltzmann distribution plot for the xenon gas at two different temperatures, T1 and T2, where T2 is greater than T1. This graph is based on this equation which we have seen in the previous slide. So in this graph, on the y-axis you have 1 by n dnu by du, and on the x-axis you have u. Now there are two curves here, one at lower temperature, which is the blue one at higher temperature, which is the red one. The blue curve, which is at lower temperature, is narrower and taller. The red curve, which is at higher temperature, is broader and flatter. So let's discuss these two curves. So what you notice is that near the origin, this plot is parabolic in nature due to the u square factor, which is the dominant factor in this region. At higher values of speed, the exponential factor dominates. Therefore, there is a rapid falling down at higher values of speed. This exponential factor is known as the Boltzmann factor. So the consequence of these two contrasting factors, the u square and the exponential factor, is that there is a maxima in the plot. There is a maxima. So this maxima corresponds to the speed known as most probable speed. So for the lower temperature, this is the most probable speed. The peak corresponds to the most probable speed, and at higher temperature, this is the most probable speed. So the maxima in both the curves will correspond to the most probable speed. Let us try and interpret the Maxwell-Boltzmann distribution plot. Now we know that the Maxwell-Boltzmann distribution plot is between 1 by n dnu by du versus u. So what is the first thing that you notice? The first thing that you notice is that the probability of finding a molecule which is motionless at any instant is 0. Another thing that you notice here is that the plot depicts the fact that the chances of finding the molecules with low speed or with very high values of speed are very small. Another factor that you notice is majority of the molecules are those which have speeds around the most probable speed, that is the peak of the curve at any temperature. Now suppose I want to find out the probability of a molecule having speed between u1 and u2, then I just need to find out the area under the curve, that is the shaded portion, and you will get the probability. It must be emphasized here that the total area under the curve is always unity. Now what is most probable speed? It is the speed possessed by the maximum number of molecules of a gas at a given temperature, and this speed corresponds to the peak of the Maxwell-Boltzmann distribution function. Now you must remember that in this function you had u square and exponential minus mu square upon 2rt. Now because of the consequence of the contrasting behavior of the two factors, the product function had passed through a maxima at a speed. Now this maxima corresponded to the maximum fraction of molecules with the speed. So this expression of most probable speed can be derived mathematically by putting the condition of maxima where the first derivative with respect to the speed will be equal to 0. So now what was our equation? Our equation was 1 by n dnu by du is equal to 4 pi into m upon 2 pi rt to the power 3 by 2 exponential minus mu square upon 2 rt u square. So what do? We set the condition of maxima as 0. Now what is the condition of maxima? That the first derivative is equal to 0. So let's find out the first derivative with respect to u. So just differentiate this expression with respect to u. So d into 1 by n dnu by du by du. Now if I differentiate this expression, now we know that this is a constant factor, so that can be kept as a constant, and we just need to differentiate this part. Now this is an exponential into u square function, so this product has to be differentiated. So what do? We keep one constant, differentiate the other, then we keep the other constant and differentiate the first one. So we are going to just do that. So first differentiate u square, so you get 2u, and keeping exponential factor as constant, so 2u exponential minus mu square upon 2rt, plus now you keep u square as constant and differentiate the exponential term. So when you differentiate, you will first differentiate the bracket, so you get minus 2mu upon 2rt, and then the exponential factor, so that remains the same, exponential minus mu square upon 2rt. Now this expression is set equal to 0 for the maximum. Therefore you keep this and this becomes equal to 0. Now if I rearrange this expression by taking out the common factors at UMP, I get 4 pi into m upon 2 pi rt to the power 3 by 2 UMP exponential minus mu square mp upon 2 rt into 2 minus mu square mp upon 2 rt equal to 0. Now this is a constant and cannot be equal to 0. So the other three factors which can be equal to 0 is UMP or exponential minus mu square mp upon 2 rt or 2 minus mu square mp upon rt. But UMP and exponential minus mu square upon 2 rt correspond to the minimum fraction of molecules having speed 0 and infinity. Therefore what are we left with? We are left with 2 minus mu square mp upon rt. So this is made equal to 0. So then we get the value of u square mp equal to 2 rt by m, and therefore UMP is equal to under root 2 rt by m, or which can be written as under root 2 kt by m, because you know that r by n is equal to Boltzmann constant. So UMP is equal to under root 2 rt by m or under root 2 kt by small m. Now what is the effect of temperature on the nature of the plot? So if we have a graph between 1 by n dnu by du versus u, and we have the plot of the xenon at different temperatures. So at 298 you have this, at 500 you have this, at 800 you have this, and at 1200 you have this. Now what is that you think that you notice? You notice that with the increase in temperature, the probability distribution function has broadened, and the peak of the plot has shifted to the right, because the most probable velocity is increasing with the increase in temperature, or in other words, the fraction of the molecules with the high speed range increases when you increase the temperature, whereas those with the low speed range decreases. Root mean square speed is defined as the square root of the mean of the square of the speeds possessed by the molecules of a gas at a given temperature. So this is written as under root u bar square, which is equal to under root of u1 square plus u2 square plus un square upon n, or it can be written as under root of 1 by n summation I ui square, or it is written as 1 by n 0 to infinity u square dnu to the power of 1 by 2. Now first we have to find out the value of the mean of the square of the speeds. Let us do that. So u bar square is equal to 1 by n 0 to infinity u square dnu. Now this expression can be then taken as square root of to get the value of root mean square speed. So first let's find out the value of mean square speed. So which is equal to 4 pi into m upon 2 pi rt to the power of 3 by 2 integrated within the limits 0 to infinity, an expression of u4 exponential minus mu square upon 2 rt into du. You remember you have an expression of u square exponential minus mu square upon 2 rt. Once you multiply it with u square, you will get an expression of u4. Now this expression actually looks like this integral. Integral 0 to infinity x to the power of 2n exponential minus ax square dx, which is equal to 1 into 3 into 5 to 2n minus 1 upon 2 to the power of n plus 1 a to the power of n into pi by a to the power of 1 by 2, where n is an even integer. So when you take n is equal to 2 and a is equal to m upon 2 rt, you will get this expression: u bar square is equal to 4 pi into m upon 2 pi rt to the power of 3 by 2 into 1 into 3 upon 2 to the power of 2 to plus 1 into m upon 2 rt whole square into pi upon m upon 2 rt to the power of 1 by 2. This expression, when you solve, you will get 4 pi into m upon 2 pi rt to the power of 3 by 2 into 3 by 8 into 4 r square t square upon m square into 2 pi rt upon m to the power of 1 by 2. So once you solve this expression completely, you will actually get 3 rt by m. Now this 3 rt by m is actually equal to u bar square. You still have to take the square root of this to get the root mean square speed. So root mean square speed is equal to under root of u bar square, which is equal to under root of 3 rt by m, which is equal to under root of 3 kt by m. So with this we have got the expression of root mean square speed. Now what we have done is we have found out the values of different kinds of speed. We have talked about the most probable speed, we have talked about the average speed, we have talked about the root mean square speed. Now let us compare them. Now most probable speed is actually equal to under root 2 rt by m, the average speed is equal to under root 8 rt by pi m, and the root mean square speed is equal to under root of u bar square, which is equal to under root of 3 rt by m. Now if I want to compare them, then we have to compare all these three with respect to at least one keeping constant. So what do? We take the ratio of URMS by U bar, and then we take the ratio of URMS by UMP. Then once you compare with the same quantity, then you have at least some kind of ratio. So URMS upon U bar, let us take. Now what is the expression for URMS? Under root 3 rt by m. And what is the expression for U bar? Under root 8 rt by m. Once you solve this, you get the ratio equal to 1.732 upon 1.596. Similarly, take the ratio of URMS upon UMP. So what is URMS? Under root 3 rt by m. What is UMP? Under root 2 rt by m. Once you solve this, you get an expression equal to under root 3 by 2, which is actually equal to 1.732 upon 1.414. So if I have to compare the URMS with U bar with UMP, you will get the expression that URMS, U bar and UMP are in the ratio of 1.732 to 1.596 to 1.414. It has to be understood that all these three speeds are directly proportional to the root of absolute temperature and are independent of the pressure of the gas. For better understanding, let's take a look at some numericals. The first numerical that we are taking is, for hydrogen gas, calculate the root mean square speed, the average speed and the most probable speed at 0 degree centigrade. Now, when you are doing these numericals, please remember to use SI units only, because the R that you will be using will be 8.314 joules per Kelvin per mole. So please make conversions of molar masses into kg per mole. Now we always talk about hydrogen molar mass as 2, oxygen 32, but please, those are in grams per mole. You must convert them into kg per mole. So here let's take the molar mass of hydrogen as 2 grams per mole, which when converted into kg per mole is equal to 2 into 10 to the power minus 3. Now temperature is given as 0 degree centigrade, so we convert it into Kelvin. So this is equal to 273 Kelvin. I have not taken 273.15 because it's a very large value here, so it won't make much of a difference. Now if I want to calculate the value of URMS, that is the root mean square speed, then it is equal to under root 3 rt by m. Now what is 3 rt by m? So 3 into 8.314 joules per Kelvin per mole into 273 Kelvin divided by molar mass 2 into 10 to the power minus 3 kg per mole and square root. So we get 1.84 into 10 to the power 3 meter per second. Similarly, you can get the value of U average, which is equal to under root 8 RT by pi m. Again, please remember you have to use R in the units of 8.314 joules per Kelvin per mole, temperature, and your molar mass is in kg per mole. So you will get this value. Similarly, you can calculate the value of most probable speed, which is equal to under root 2 RT by m. It is being overemphasized here that you have to convert your molar masses into kg per mole. Do not use them as gram per mole, otherwise you will get very wrong answers. Now, let's take a look at another numerical. Calculate the temperature at which the root mean square speed, the average speed, and the most probable speed of oxygen gas are all equal to 1500 meter per second. Now we know that the molar mass of oxygen is 32 grams per mole, but we have to convert it into kg per mole. So that is becoming 32 into 10 to the power minus 3 kg per mole. Now we have to calculate the temperature at which all of these three are equal to 1500. So just equate this expression 3 into 8.314 joules per Kelvin per mole into T1 upon 32 into 10 to the power minus 3 kg per mole to the power of 1 by 2 to 1500 meter per second, and solve to get the value of T1. Similarly, find out the temperature with respect to average velocity and find out the temperature with respect to the most probable velocity. Very simple, but you have to just remember to use R as 8.314 joules per Kelvin per mole and molar mass as kg per mole. Everyone remembers that the temperature has to be taken in Kelvin. Now, another numerical that we want to take a look at is calculate the temperature at which the average velocity of the oxygen equals that of hydrogen at 20 K. Now we know that the average velocity is equal to under root 8 RT by pi m. That means the average velocity is proportional to root T upon m. Now write expressions for oxygen and hydrogen. So the average velocity of oxygen is proportional to TO2 by MO2 to the power of 1 by 2, and average velocity of hydrogen is proportional to under root of TH2 by MH2. Just take the ratio of the two. So you get U average O2 upon U average H2 is equal to under root of TO2 by M2 divided by TH2 by MH2. Now this is equal to 1 because we said that they both equal. Therefore, when you equate them, you get that TO2 by MO2 is equal to TH2 by MH2. You know the values of the three things. You can get the value of the temperature for oxygen. So just remember to use molar masses in kg per mole. Otherwise, you tend to make mistakes. Please remember, here you could have taken in gram per mole because it is a ratio in root 1 meter. But if you are in the habit of using kg per mole, then it's better. So TO2 upon 32 into 10 to the power minus 3 kg per mole is equal to 20 K upon 2 into 10 to the power minus 3 kg per mole. When you solve, you get 320 Kelvin for oxygen. We have taken a look at the distribution of speeds. We have talked about the various kinds of speeds. We have taken out their ratio. We have taken a look at some numericals. Now let's look at the position on the graph. Please understand that the speed is increasing towards right on the x-axis. Now most probable speed corresponded to the maxima, so it has this value. Now you must see that the ratio of average and the URMS is more than that of most probable. So just see, first comes the most probable speed corresponding to the maxima, then after that comes the average speed, and then comes the root mean square speed. Please remember this graph, it is for your understanding. Now we know that almost all the molecules have zero kinetic energy at the absolute zero of temperature. But why is it so? Please understand that this has to be explained through the distribution of molecule speeds. Now the answer is that since temperature is a measure of the broadness of the speed distribution, and if it were possible to somehow narrow the distribution to an extent that the temperature falls to a minimal value, then at the absolute zero of temperature, the distribution will become so narrow, infinitely narrow in fact, that all the molecules will have only zero speed. Another question that comes to our mind is that why are we talking about the distribution of molecular speeds and not velocities? What difference does it make? Please understand that when you look at some of the books, you will find that some are using velocities, some are using speeds. In fact, in my presentation today also, I have used speed and velocity interchangeably. But why? Why should we concentrate more on speed and then on velocity? This is because speed is a magnitude of the velocity. Now, the physical properties of the gases depend only on the speeds and not on the velocity. So, we are okay when we talk about speeds. But can we use velocity? Yes, it is possible we can use velocity. It wouldn't make a difference. The distribution of molecular speeds or the distribution of molecular velocity will have the same shape. The only difference is that the variation in the case of velocity will be between positive to negative value. But in the case of speed, it will always be positive because speed is a positive quantity. There is no negative speed because it is just the magnitude. So it will always be greater than 0. Whereas for a velocity, you will have the variation between positive values and negative values. So you can use them interchangeably, but it's better if you use speeds. Now, what is average kinetic energy? The average kinetic energy of a molecule is defined as the total kinetic energy of all the molecules divided by total number of molecules. So it is written as half mu1 square plus half mu2 square plus half mu3 square till half mun square divided by n, or it can be written as half mu1 square plus u2 square plus u3 square till un square divided by n. Now, average kinetic energy can be written as Ke with a bar, or you can also write it as energy bar, so epsilon bar. So epsilon bar is equal to 1 by n m by 2 summation I ui square, or 1 by n m by 2 0 to infinity u square dnu. Now you know the expression of dnu by n, and if you integrate this expression, you will get energy bar is equal to 1 by 2m 3 kt by m, which is equal to 3 by 2 kt. Please understand here k is the Boltzmann constant. Now, the expression for energy distribution, will it be same or will be different from the speed distribution? The Maxwell distribution of speeds can be converted into energy distribution by just substituting epsilon, which is equal to 1 by 2 mu square. So this gives u as 2 by m under root epsilon under root. Now if I differentiate this expression, we get du is equal to 1 by 2m to the power of 1 by 2 epsilon minus 1 by 2 d epsilon. So the energy range corresponds to the speed range du, and so the number of particles dnu having speeds between u and u plus du corresponds to the number of particles dne or dn epsilon having energies between epsilon and epsilon plus d epsilon. If I replace u and du in terms of epsilon and d epsilon, we get this expression. dn epsilon is equal to 2 pi n into 1 upon pi kt to the power of 3 by 2 epsilon 1 by 2 exponential minus epsilon upon kt d epsilon. Let's look at the energy distribution curve. So you have fraction of molecules on the y-axis and energy on the x-axis as in the speed distribution curve. This looks like the speed distribution curve, but is not so, because here at the origin you have a vertical tangent, whereas in the case of speed distribution curve you had a horizontal tangent. That after passing the maxima fell off very fast. This falls off a little slowly. So that is difference. Important point here is that this is very much like the speed distribution curve in the case of temperature ranges. So at lower temperature you have a narrower, taller curve, and at higher temperature you have a broader, shorter curve. And if I want to find out the number of molecules having energy within certain ranges, then just find out the area under the curve. Now let us suppose there is some energy E, and we want to find out the number of molecules which have energy greater than that. then I just need to find out the area under the curve. When you find that, let us say this was the energy, and we find out the area under the curve for the lower temperature and for the higher temperature, you will find that the value of area is less for the lower temperature and the value of area is higher for the higher temperature. This means that there is a greater proportion of molecules which will have energy greater than that energy at higher temperature as corresponding to the lower temperature. So this is the fraction of the molecules having energy greater than epsilon. So n epsilon prime upon n is equal to epsilon prime to infinity integral dne upon n. So if I substitute the expression and integrate, I get this expression. So this equation describes how the fraction of molecules having kinetic energy greater than epsilon varies with temperature. Due to the exponential dependence, this fraction varies quite rapidly with temperature, particularly at low temperature. This equation is often required in describing many concepts of physical chemistry. So you always say exponential minus energy by kT. So for example, in the study of the effect of temperature on the reaction rates, we require the fraction of molecules having energies equal to or greater than some minimum energy known as threshold energy. It is known that only those molecules having energy equal to or greater than threshold energy can react chemically. Now let us recall what we have studied about the distribution of speeds. The fraction of molecules having either very low or very high speeds are small in number. The majority of molecules have speed which cluster around UMP in the middle of the range of U. The total area under the curve is a measure of the total number of molecules in the collection, that is, number of molecules comprising all speeds. The area under the curve between any two speeds, for example, U1 and U2, is a measure of the total number of molecules having speed between these two values. The plots give the distribution of speeds at different temperatures. Since the total number of molecules is same at both temperatures, the area under both the curves will have the same value. Since increase in temperature causes an increase in kinetic energy of the molecules, it follows that the fraction of molecules having lower speed range decreases, whereas the fraction of molecules having higher speed range increases on increasing the temperature of the gas. This is primarily because of the exponential minus mu square upon 2 RT factor. Also, the curve at the higher temperature has its UMP shifted to a higher value compared with that for lower temperature, whereas the corresponding fraction of molecules has decreased. But at the same time, the curve near UMP had become broader at the higher temperature, indicating that more molecules possess speeds near the most probable speed. In general, the distribution of speeds is wider at higher temperature than at lower temperature. Also, the speed distribution also depends on the mass of the molecule. At the same temperature, a heavy gas has a narrow distribution of speed than a light gas. It can be seen that the distribution in general depends upon the value of m by T. Thus, the distribution will be same for a gas of molar mass 2m at a temperature 2T, since the ratio will remain the same. So with this, we have also revised the distribution of speed. So in today's class, we have talked about molecular speed, we have talked about the distribution, we have discussed Boltzmann distribution law, we have talked about the law of distribution of molecular speed, we have taken a look at all the three speeds: most probable, average, root mean square speed, and the average kinetic energy. So with this, we wind up today's e-lecture. Thank you everyone. Please stay at home, stay safe, take care of your family and your friends. Bye-bye.